Yeah, she wanted me to come in here dressed up.
I didn't want him to. I thought that's what he meant.
Please don't come in here looking like Captain Morgan.
No. Not on Friday. On Saturday, though, I'm thinking about dressing up.
You're dressing up like a pirate.
I might be Jack Sparrow, bro.
Tis the day.
Yeah.
Or Black Sparrow. Captain Black Sparrow.
Really? I didn't think about that part. I've always gone to Gasparilla just dressed normal.
I mean, I wear some pirate stuff,
I wear black and red usually because those are the colors of like Gasparilla. But this year,
is it going to be cold?
It's supposed to be cold. Yes.
But my mom's gonna be in town too. So
are you bringing her?
You bring your mother to Gasparilla?
Yeah. She has to get on a cruise leaving from Tampa, so I want to show her a little bit of Gasparilla, and I'm gonna be dressed like a pirate.
Wow!
So she's gonna be like, "Why are you dressed like that?"
It's supposed to be like a high 61 degrees on Saturday.
On Saturday?
On Saturday. That's still I know, but it's gonna be cold.
That's nasty work.
And by the way, right there on the water, it gets really windy.
She's not gonna have time to fight the crowd and then get over there to whatever.
I mean, if she comes early enough, she's probably gonna come with us to the guest party.
You've said that you've invited her to come hang out with us several times,
and she has declined, which I totally understand.
Well, that's because every time I'm like, "Hey, Mom, why don't you come and do Plead the Fifth or something?" She's like, "No, I am not going no more. I'm sorry."
No, I wouldn't go either. Like, you don't make it appealing because I mean, you've already like called out your sister a couple times or whatever. So yeah, we don't want to do that. I found this online yesterday. Apparently, the CEO, according to this story, they were basically talking about performance versus comfort. And the way they described it was like, listen, all of us work 9 to 5s, and our jobs have all kind of crazy access to us.
Yes. And
so, that email goes off, we tend to jump on it even though we're really not supposed to. Mm-hmm. And so the CEO, and basically this dude was the CEO of Starbucks.
Yeah.
And he did an interview, and then after that interview, these people are purporting that this is like what kind of like was the final straw.
Okay.
Where the company basically would like cut him off.
Okay.
And I was just like, man, with the people who are out moving this morning and headed to a job that they probably gonna work a little overtime or go a little harder than they normally go because the economy is the way it is, I thought I would share this with you so you can hear what he had to say and see if you're because these people were like, I don't understand how a CEO is thinking this way.
I'm very disciplined about balance. If there's anything after 6 p.m. and if I'm in town, it's got to be a pretty high bar to keep me away from the family. Anybody who gets a minute of time after that better be sure that it's important, because if not, it'll just wait for another day.
Okay. It has to be, I would say after hours, yes. It has to be of high importance. Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with this. What this man said.
And what the podcaster was saying was, he's like, you have to realize those of us who came up in the performance game where we were like, we're going to win because that's going to make us have security and we're going to have success. They're like, but the new age that's coming into the workforce now is much more about happiness and comfort instead of success and performance, because success and performance is about working that extra mile, about studying a little harder and longer than necessary, doing what's necessary to get to that top realm.
Right.
But like you just said, I see nothing wrong with that, because there's a new wave that's coming up that's more about
work-life balance,
comfort, and hey, I need my time, and it's like when have you remember we talk about being interns and doing all of the banging out that we had to do?
Yeah.
When did you ever look at them and say, hey, that's not
never
right?
Not one time. I still don't
and
have
it wasn't
that mentality.
even. Thank you.
I still
That's
have
what
the mentality
I'm saying. That's
now.
exactly
if
what I'm saying.
something needs to get done, you don't even just bring it to my attention, and I'll make sure. Even on the weekends, like it will get done.
That's what he said. He didn't say after 6 o'clock my phone's off. He said it needs to be of pretty high importance for me to answer the phone.
Right.
He's not saying.
But she didn't say it has to be of pretty high importance. She says if they call on me, I'm on it because that's in her.
It is ingrained in me. I would say the only way I'm kind of moving it, or adjusting it just a little bit, is if I'm taking care of my kids and it's dinner time or something like that, like something where I'm 100% focused on the family. I can do this in maybe an hour or two once I put the girls to bed. That kind of adjustment there, because I want to give them my full attention. So
perfect example is like you guys when you do Lepley's.
Yes.
Like he's saying, I ain't got time to be doing something like that because I got family time. And that's a beautiful thing to say, but it's the antithesis of being performance-based.
Right.
Like, I was watching this whole thing, and it was just so intriguing because when we have our conversations, we refer back to when we first got in it, and it's like, yo, you had to work 10 jobs to be able to say, okay, now I get to do overnights.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the big thing. But now it's like, there's a lot of comfort.
Yes.
Like
there's a lot of comfort and a lot
comfortable
of different
as it is, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is.
But there has to be some kind of balance, though. There's so many like families out there that are struggling right now because their parents aren't there all the time, and they would like to spend time with their parents. So
you know what else is a struggle?
Yeah, I mean,
no lights,
paying bills. Yeah.
no food, no health insurance.
But the thing is, we're
scary.
generalizing because this guy is no slouch. Because this guy was the CCO of Pepsi at one point. He was the CEO of Starbucks, Wreck-It, and all these things. This guy has an engineering degree from UPenn.
Awesome guy. Right. I mean, I ain't need this Carfax. I'm saying that he lost his job afterwards, and they're like, you know what? This mentality, if you're looking at an employee, if our bosses are looking at us and they're like, listen, we got to call everybody in because it's time to do a little something, and I would guarantee if our bosses hit us with something like that, at least 40% of our staff would be like, oh no, that's after.
It's last
That's
second.
after 5.
Yeah.
See, I
would be like,
I would be with her because she would be exactly what I'm thinking.
If
Like,
it's a Beasley calling a meeting,
right?
I'm
Caroline Beasley say, hey, it's 6:30, but I need y'all to get on the line. I'm like, all right.
we all getting on, but and I'm just gonna not this company. But how many companies have you worked for where the boss is not even putting in a full day, let alone 6 p.m.? And they're leaving early.
Well, I mean, we've all had bosses like that, but I've also had bosses who was the last one out.
Yeah.
I had a boss when I was in Tallahassee. I had a boss who emptied everybody's trash. He was our Ron.
Okay,
but he walked through, and I was like a rookie. And I asked him I was like, "What? Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "You're the big dog. Why you doing the trash?" Because even the cleaning guy was like, "Hey, all the trash is empty." He's like, "Am I out of?" He was like, "Am I out of a job?" I'm like, "Nah." I'm like, I ask him. I'm like, "Man, the trash dude is like, yo, you still in this hustle? What are you doing?" He's like, "Orlando, the best thing I can do is look everybody in the eye. They know I'm coming, so they're not leaving early. I get to look through their trash and see what they're working on." And he's like, and I show everybody that I'm not too big to do the small things. And he's like, because that's a big thing. He's like, so Italy. And I'm like, oh, so what you seeing in there? He's like, I see all their sales reports. I see stuff. I see copy. I see, but he's like, I see all kinds of stuff. I don't dig too deep. But anyway, this dude is in charge. You know what I'm saying? Like, he put it this way: when it got bad, he didn't cash his paycheck so everybody else could get paid.
Oh my God!
So his paycheck was that big, and he was emptying trash. So I'm just saying, that's the dude who brought me into the game. So that's why I'm here late. That's why she's here. Max, and that's why it's rubbing off on you because now you run around here like an extra day. Like, I see him in the hallway. He's like, I'm here to do some other stuff, and I'm like, see there?
Yeah, it rubs off on you.
It's rubbing off on you.
And I get that stuff, but I don't have a family. Now, if I had a family, I would definitely think of things a little bit differently. You know, like how many times have you, like, I'm not going to say regretted, but you resent sometimes that you've missed with your daughters because you have to be working?
Yeah, but I regret it, but I don't have a choice. Because we got to
run the station.
Yeah, I mean, we've had success here, I think, because we've had people go hard in the paint. Yeah. You know, while other places have taken vacations. I mean, I would love to take a vacation.
Even during a hurricane, you here.
Hell, even through vacation.
Yeah,
I was here.
Yeah, Christmas vacation. You know what I mean? Every day.
I have a problem with it because I'm going to speak from the heart here, and as a person who works,
don't speak from the heart.
No, I'm going to speak from the heart.
We're going to mess around with
the
our jobs.
other side.
At the end of the day, in a lot of companies, like the people that are working ain't nothing but a number, and like we'll work hard as we can for 20 years, and then all of a sudden one day, because it's a part of the budget, you lose your job.
Yeah.
And that all that time that you put into that job and you lost with your family, all of a sudden, what was it for? Nothing. So
it was for them lights and food and stuff that we was talking about. That's what I mean. Like you said, when you get like kids and responsibilities, it's gonna hit you different. Like there's some guys
for
out there
sure.
that now they're like, man, I really wish I could take my kids to school, or I wish I could take my kids to, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And they're out there hustling, in the cold and wet and all this other stuff, because they're like, I gotta make sure I'm taking care of my kids. So that's that hustle. And it's not bad. I mean, again, it was a conversation worth having because everybody is in a different space headed where they got to go this morning. That's why I was like, yo, I think some people are going to get it and some people are going to be like, yeah, man, it's like if I could tap out, I would, or they got a great partner that's holding them down at home. It fits in. So
we got a bunch of texts out of the 656. I literally just quit my job for a job that may pay me a little less, but it accommodated my son's school schedule. My old job refused to adjust my schedule whatsoever. That's a big deal.
Huge deal.
Yeah.
You could always find another job. You can never get the time back with your family. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's why I feel for this guy.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. But this guy wasn't. He's saying
That
balance.
poor people say.
Come on, dog.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.